Let's say I have some task and I want that task to be done by some computer. Okay, but the question is that how can I convey this information? I want to execute this task on a computer, but how can I tell a computer that what to do? I cannot simply ask the computer to do the task because computers are ultra dumb but ultra fast. They cannot understand my language. If computer were human, then I can say that do that task directly in English or in Hindi or in Japanese, whatever language you prefer. But computers are not human. They cannot understand my language. So there is some way to make my task done by computer. I need to talk to computer in the language that computer understands. Let's talk to computer in a language that computer understands. Can you guess the language that computer can understand? Yes, if you are thinking about instructions, then you are right. Yes, computer understands instructions only. Now let's have a simple example. Let's say I want my computer to perform C equal to A plus B. To perform this addition, what my instruction should convey to computer? What my instruction should have within it so that my computer can understand that it wants to add A and B and result should be stored in C. To perform this addition, what are the all information that instruction should convey to processor so that processor can understand that we want to add A and B and result should be stored back into C. Let's see how my instruction can look like. What are the essential fields that my instruction should have? My instruction should tell my computer that I want to perform addition. Hence, some code should be there that is called opcode. Opcode means operation code, which operation I want to perform. Hence, this opcode will tell in this case that I want to perform addition. Second thing is where can I find my source? In this case, address of A and address of B. Third thing is address of destination, where my result should be stored back. These are the things that instruction should convey to a processor.
Now you know how an instruction looks like. So it is right time to start with instruction set architecture. Now I am going to introduce you ISA, that is instruction set architecture. This picture is so perfect to show that how my instruction set can look like. If you notice, then these guys are dancing here and this is one who is supporting those. These guys are dancing on some stage and that stage is supported by someone. Instruction set is basically the set of instructions that a processor understands. It tells that these are the instructions that processor is going to understand. Let's say add R1, R2, multiply, division, jump, shift and so on. These are the instructions that a processor is going to understand, means this is my plan. Instruction set only tells that these are the instructions. Like if I want to perform add operation, then it depends on hardware that whether it will perform add operation using carry look ahead adder or it will perform add operation using ripple carry adder. This is up to hardware. You do not need to bother about these adders. You will study these in digital logic. Okay. What I am trying to say is instruction set do not tell that how you implement. It only tells that what are the things that you need to implement and how you are going to implement it depends on your hardware. As a user perspective, I do not need to care that which processor they are using. As long as I have my instruction set as same, then I do not care that whether it is Intel, whether it is AMD or what it is. If I take this away and if I bring someone else instead of here, as long as this is same, as long as these two processor X and processor Y, these two processor are supporting the same instruction set, these two processor are providing our same instruction set, then I do not care. I do not care that whether it is processor X or processor Y, because I am dancing on this stage. This stage should be same. Now let's say I have a processor X and this is providing some set of instructions. Okay, this supports some set of instructions and my softwares are running on these set of instructions. Okay, now I want to upgrade this X. Now when I am upgrading this processor X, then I need to remember that I cannot change this instruction set. Okay, whatever instruction set it is supporting, I can add on to this, but I cannot change. Why? Because if I change this instruction set, then that company have risk of losing customers, because that customers can run on previous instruction set, and if I provide a new processor that do not support the previous instruction set, then my software will not able to run on that upgraded machine any longer. That's why as a user perspective, I may not want to use that processor. Why would I change my software? Right? I will buy some other company processor, but not this upgraded. Why? Because my software runs on this instruction set only. If I am upgrading my AX, then I can upgrade some transistors, some chips, but never instruction set. Or I can add some more instruction to the instruction set, but changing the instruction set itself is big risk of losing customer. Up till now, you may not have got much more of the instruction set, but if you want to understand in basic terms, then just think this instruction set as set of instructions that a processor understand, and most of the processors provide same instruction set. Classic example is Intel and AMD. Intel and AMD both provide same instruction set. Now let's try to design instruction set architecture, and we will see what are the choices we have while we are designing instruction set architecture. First, we need to define that how many operations we are going to have in our ISA. So number of operations. This is nothing but number of instructions only. Second is size of instruction. And here we have always two choices, whether my instruction size will be a fixed size or it will depend on instruction to instruction, that is variable size. Third thing is that how I am going to access my data. Data will be either in memory or in register, but we have many different ways of accessing data. We will understand these types of accessing the data under addressing mode. Fourth thing is that where my operands are located, location of operand. These are the main things that ISA defines. First is number of instructions, second is size of each instruction, third is how can I access my data, and fourth is where is my operand located. Again, operands are always stored either in register or in memory. So based on that only, we have divided this instruction set architecture broadly into three types. See here, based on this location of operand, we have divided instruction set architecture into three types. First one is stack based architecture. Second is accumulator based architecture. And third one is general purpose register based architecture. I am running out of time, so I will talk more about these architectures in next video.